Welcome back to the clinic-based video series. We're breaking out a little bit just to focus on the hooker and types of activities that the hooker can do on his own. Coordination that's essential between him and the scrum-half with the new laws coming in. So we're just going to go through a couple of drills, again focusing on the hydraulic machine as well as proper use of the bungee systems to allow an opportunity for individuals to take time before a session starts to get this part of the element absolutely nailed down before we come to the full scrummage. So what I've got here is a front row, a couple of hookers, and we've also got the scrum half ready to practice this timing and putting in of the ball. Okay, just for the demonstration to show what I'm looking for. The precision of the feed of the ball and the timing is absolutely key for us to generate this squeeze and react to the ball coming in to secure our possession. So the placement and timing, if we use the machine correctly, we can really start to look at coming from this heel to toe position. We're not overextending, we're not stepping in front of the props that are supporting us, which is a point of law. We're coming back to the heel to toe separation. We're probably on shoulder width or slightly narrower because we've got the support of the front row. This is our anchor leg. This is really going to be the stability, and we're going to drive off. We're going to take that collision with both feet working, but once we come into that position, we're looking then to time so that we can strike for the ball, and if the ball's placed on my foot, and then we're going to draw it back into the channel one. So it's a strike, it's not a hook. It's going to strike, draw it back, and then we get back into a pushing position. So by setting up the machine in this way, we can practice some routines to get that little sequence absolutely under pressure, but precise. The timing's right, and we can get a reaction to the rest of the pack to drive and secure the strike. We're also focused on the hooker at all times being in a strong supportive position, getting that foot back and then getting back into the heel to toe position and using his profile to contribute to the ongoing drive against the opposition. Okay, so we're coming to the machine. We need to measure off. Obviously the referee would have given us our mark. Remember, this is the challenge. We're working through this challenge. We're using the machine with its vulnerability up and down, and we've got a bit of a challenge. It's going to fight back. Can we get into that? Okay, take your measurement off. Get into that heel to toe position. Get that isolation of your core. Get into the little position. Crouch. Bind. Set. Measures up. Perfects that heel to toe. Let's look at that heel to toe. Slight splay out with the feet. Remember this flared effect is opening up the hips. We're accessing that core, so when we get into that sat position, we're really driving down into our legs. We nick our knees in a little bit and push out on our feet, and that dovetail effect is really gripping into the ground. We've had some rain since the last session, so the ground's a little bit slippier, and that's going to add to our ability to work in any conditions. So measures off. Crouch. Bind, set, breathe. Lovely, good body position, working on two feet. Break up. Again, he's got his foot position, really strong body position here. He's got shape in his upper body. His focus is that most muscular situation, so there's an attention here. He's got the splayed feet, big muscle groups working forward. This is the conductor for all of that power into this attention on the top body. Crouch, bind, set, break, up you come. Now we're going to integrate the timing of the tap. So we're going back to the old traditional tap, the placement of the ball onto this strike foot and drawing it back. This will be key aspects, and we're looking for interpretation as the season develops on how the referees are going to let this progress. So ideally we would want the scrum half being able to gain position with a nice squat position ready for this feed. It'll be interesting whether the referees allow the sight of the ball into the channel or they restrict that into the arms. What we don't want to do is be coming late to this formation after it's engaged and got into the squeeze position. We want to be ready to feed the ball. We also don't want to be giving too many triggers away to the opposition. Tapping on top can give a big trigger before the ball is being placed into the opposition, and we lose that advantage of snapping on the timing of our strike. Our advantage is that the scrum half is feeding when our hooker is available and we're reacting to the sight of the ball. So the loose head prop is a good person to instigate this call to react to the ball coming in, but I like to promote a collective effort. So we're all sighting, we're all looking for a flash of the ball, and then we react with our numbers and chasing the strike of the ball. So coming to the situation, tapping on top can give a trigger. Coming to the situation, bending and feeding the ball can give a trigger. Hopefully the referee's interpretation will allow the scrum half to get loaded. He's done all of his signals prior to the scrum forming. He knows what's happening, and he's focused on the placement of the ball at the correct angle to the foot so that the hooker can strike it back. So let's try and bring that together with one of the hookers. We're going to look for a little tap of your fingers and see if we can place that ball onto your foot and strike it back into channel 1. On my calls. Crouch, bind, set. Looking for the tap. Okay, so this is going to be really interesting break up. Lovely body position there. This is going to, it's a little bit alien for us this season, getting the coordination of that tap and the timing of the foot coming there so that there's a real advantage in the strike and hitting that channel 1 precisely. New hooker in, measures up, focus on the heel to toe, promote, display the feet, crouch, bind, set. Please. Okay. Break up. As you can see, again in this situation, it's going to be a little bit alien. We've got to perfect those skills of striking. It's a real strike that we're looking for. From that loaded position in here, when we know we're coming ready for the strike, we load up, we stay strong in the upper body, we take the weight off this foot, and it's a strike and a draw back, not trying to get up and hook around the ball. So it's a real skill and a timing element that's got to be practiced on its own. Let's try it with a full front row now. So what we're going to do, we're going to build a front row. Again, we need to build up the machine here. We haven't got enough resistance here. We need to load up the machine as we progress through these sessions, so that the machine is coping for the weight that we're going to contribute to the machine. Again, later in the series of videos, we'll have the hydraulic machine add into this initial pressure under the engagement. Okay, let's measure up. Let's just put a soft engagement in here. I just want to get into the machine first, just talk about some crucial points. If we can just have a look at this formation in the video here. So we've got the heel to toe. You can see along this front row that there's a straight line between all their front foot, and then the back rear feet are all kind of in a line. There'll be lots of adjustments here for personal preference, and when we bring the rest of the pack there's lots of critiques and adjustments to this, but the principles from our first video series are sound here. We're going to be in a pushing supportive position, preventing this hinge effect when we make an engagement. So guys, just take up that weight and just get into the position to start with. Yeah, just go down, nice and soft, just go down. Want you to take up a bit of pressure. Okay, so the placement of this ball is really key. If the strike foot comes out, it strikes and it stops. I want to place the ball on the right angle that it hits. We're straight down the channel, it's a straight feed, but then the hooker just draws it back. So it's about getting that time in, looking for this tap, and then once the tap comes in, the foot comes out, it's a placement and back to the channel 1. And it's not easy, as you can see by the demonstration. It's something that needs to be practiced time and time and time again. So if we can get into this sat position here, ready, the ball's placed on that angle, and then just the placement right down from the knees. And again. Yep.
Nice, Rich.
Okay, that's getting better. There's a lot of critiques and a lot of timing that we need to do there. Break up, lads. Right, we're going to try and pull this together now, just for the clinic based session. Just pull this element nice and tightly together, that we can bring all of the factors in. Some of the little critiques that I mentioned are adjustment in feet, especially when we've got the back five coming in. There are adjustments in the bind to give more space, depending on the body shapes, and also some really good factors. We're now focusing on our looking down because we're striking and thinking of timing, and we've lost that principle of keeping into the good body positions. And a really good tip that I observed on the internet was one of the scrum coaches talking about that when you sight yourself in the scrum, so what are you looking at? You've got peripheral awareness of ball coming in, flashing from that feed, but we don't want to be looking down on that feed because that changes my body profile. We want to be forcing up, and it's just like as if you've got a set of sunglasses on and you're peering over those glasses. So that sight line there is exactly where we should all be looking, although we've got things to address and think about here. Don't start turning down and changing that body shape. Keep the neck loaded into those muscle profiles, and just peering over those glasses is a good indicator of where you should be sighted. Okay, nice high binds, focus on the profile.
Crouch, bind, set,
squeeze. Good, yeah. Lovely channel one ball, excellent, good drive. Well done, lads, break up.
Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. We hope you can join the exchange and bring your team together.